Here's a fact that will change how you think about money forever. The vast majority of the richest people in the world are entrepreneurs who own businesses, followed by investors who own assets, then people who inherited wealth, and a small group of athletes, entertainers, and artists who own rare skills. Almost none of them got rich purely from a salary. Notice the pattern. Every single one of those groups owns something. If you don't own anything, you're the one being owned by the system. So today, I'm going to show you a simple rule that lets anyone, no matter their income, start owning things like the wealthy do. I call it the 25, 15, 50, 10 rule, and I've personally used it for decades to build my own wealth from nothing. Here's how it works. 25% of your income goes toward growth. 15% goes toward stability. 50% covers your essentials, and the final 10% goes toward rewards. Let's break down each piece. The first 25% is your growth money, the portion that works for you instead of the other way around. Most people get paid, pay their bills, and then spend the rest on things they don't even remember buying a week later. That's exactly why so many people end up owning nothing of real value. The system is built to keep you comfortable for a few days after payday and stressed for the rest of the month, which forces you to keep working just to stay afloat. The way out is to take that first 25% and put it directly into assets, things that grow in value over time and eventually make you money without your direct effort. Let me show you why starting early matters so much. Imagine two people. One starts investing $200 every month at age 20. The other waits until age 30 and tries to catch up by investing $300 a month instead. By the time they both reach age 60 and stop investing, the second person actually put in more money overall, about $108,000, compared to about $96,000 for the first person. So the second person should end up ahead, right? Not even close. Assuming an average yearly return of around 10%, similar to the long-term average of the stock market, the second person's money grows to around $678,000. The first person, who simply started 10 years earlier, ends up with over $1,260,000, despite investing $12,000 less overall. That's the raw power of starting early. So where should this growth money actually go? Think of your options on a scale from safer to riskier. At the safer end are index funds, which simply give you a small slice of hundreds of the world's biggest companies without needing to pick individual winners. Slightly further along is real estate, either owning property directly or investing in a real estate fund if you don't have enough for a full property. In the middle is investing in your own skills, things like sales, coding, writing, or editing, which often gives you the fastest return of all, since nobody can take a skill away from you once you've learned it. Further up the risk scale are online businesses like dropshipping, followed by individual stocks, which can pay off big but require real research to do properly. Right at the top are highly volatile assets like cryptocurrency and collectibles, which can make or lose you money quickly and should only ever be a small, fun part of your strategy, never the foundation. It also matters which type of account you use. Many countries offer accounts where your investments can grow completely free of tax as long as you stay under a yearly limit. In the UK, that's a stocks and shares ISA, with a limit of around £20,000 a year. In the United States, it's a Roth IRA, with a limit of around $7,000 a year for people under 50. There's also employer retirement plans like a workplace pension in the UK, or a 401k in the US, where your contributions often come with free matching money from your employer, something you should never turn down. Once your account is set up, automate a monthly transfer that moves straight from your bank into your investments the moment you get paid, so you're never tempted to spend it first. A simple and effective approach is to build a three-fund portfolio: one fund covering the domestic stock market, one covering international stocks, and one bond fund for stability. Adjusting the mix between stocks and bonds based on your age and how much risk you're comfortable with. The next 15% of your income goes towards stability, the portion that keeps you in the game when life throws something unexpected at you. To calculate your target, add up your essential monthly expenses like rent, food, utilities, and transport, and multiply that number by 5. For example, if your essential costs are $1,500 a month, your stability fund target would be $7,500. This money needs to follow 3 rules. It must be easy to access within a day or so. It must carry zero risk, meaning it should never sit in the stock market or in crypto, even the safer parts of those markets. And it should still earn a little interest while it waits, so keep it in a high-yield savings account rather than a regular account earning nothing. Each month, automatically move 15% of your income into this fund until it's fully built up. If you ever have to use some of it for an emergency, replace what you took out as soon as your next paycheck arrives so the fund stays intact and ready for the next surprise. The next 50% of your income covers your essentials, the portion that keeps you fed and housed, not the portion that feeds your ego. Surprisingly, a majority of people earning 6-figure salaries still live paycheck to paycheck, which shows it's not about how much you earn, it's about how much slips away without you noticing. Your true essentials are things like rent or mortgage payments, groceries, utilities, transport, insurance, and basic clothing. Things like unused subscriptions, frequent takeout, and a gym membership you never use don't count, no matter how normal they feel. The 2 biggest categories to control are housing and transport, since they usually make up the largest share of anyone's spending. Always try to renegotiate your rent when your lease is up, since most landlords would rather keep a good tenant than deal with the hassle of finding a new one. For transport, avoid financing a brand new car, since car payments are one of the fastest ways to quietly drain your wealth over time, and instead buy a reliable used car until your income can comfortably support something nicer. Before any non-essential purchase, run it through 3 questions. Is this an impulse buy? If so, wait 7 days and see if you still want it once the excitement fades. Are you paying for the actual value or just for the brand name? And finally, will this genuinely improve your life? If you can't confidently answer yes to that last question, it's probably not worth spending the money on. The final 10% of your income goes toward rewards, the portion that keeps you sane and prevents burnout. Money isn't only about growing and saving, it's also meant to be enjoyed along the way. A huge number of people who save aggressively without any reward eventually crack and overspend anyway, because saving without any joy starts to feel like punishment. To use this money wisely, open a separate account, think of it as your fun fund, and automatically send 10% of your income into it every single month, no matter how large or small that amount is. Spend it on things that genuinely add value to your life, vacations and trips that create lasting memories, hobbies that keep you passionate outside of work, nights out that strengthen your friendships, and thoughtful gifts for people you love. The key rule is not to top this account up from your other 3 categories when it runs low. Once it hits 0 for the month, you simply wait until next month, and that built-in limit is exactly what makes the whole system sustainable instead of guilt-inducing. So there you have it, the complete 25-15-50-10 rule. 25% toward growth to build your future, 15% toward stability to protect your progress, 50% toward essentials to keep your life running, and 10% toward rewards to keep you sane along the way. It doesn't matter how much you currently earn, this system works at any income level, and the sooner you start applying it, the sooner you'll begin owning things instead of just working for money that disappears the moment it arrives. If you enjoy videos like this and want to see more fascinating topics, be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications.